Hello everyone, Tina here. I hope your day is going wonderful. Thank you so much for joining me. Well, today we're creating 10 cards with Spellbinders Card Kit of the month for October 2020. It's a little late, but better late than never. If you just came from my unboxing, you've seen how I created this cute little Dancing Santa. I love him. I think he'd make a cute little pin too. But we're going to put him on a card today. So we're going to jump in with our first card. I have a panel that I created with the striped paper in the 6x6 paper pad. It measures 2 inches by 4 1/4. We are going to add a thin strip of the gold cardstock on the very bottom of this strip, and then we're going to adhere it directly to our card base towards the bottom, about 3/4 of the way up, I would say, from the bottom. Once I have it straight, we're going to cut off the excess. And then we are going to go ahead and add foam adhesive behind our lantern here. This is a lantern from the die cut pack, and I think it would be a great addition to Santa here. I do want to add like a little bit of a glowing halo behind it. So just using some Distress Oxide ink in squeeze lemonade, I'm going to use my finger dauber and just go in a circular motion, a little bit larger than the lantern, the light portion of the lantern here, or light post I should say, not lantern. I guess it could, back in the day I'm sure it was probably a lantern. But I'm going to flip over my Santa. You can see that little rectangle white piece. I'm going to only add foam adhesive on that cardstock. This is going to keep my Santa in motion, so his legs are a-dancing. We'll place him next to the light post here. It's kind of hard to tell that he dances because I'm trying to hold it flat so you can see it. But if you hold it straight up and down, he really dances so cute. I'm going to take the presents that we created during the unboxing. I'm going to add them right next to it. If you guys missed how to put this guy together, I'll link the unboxing at the end in case you guys want to go back and refer to it. But I'm going to add his thought bubble. It says, "I love cookies." And then last but not least, we're going to add a little sparkle to that heart inside the sentiment. I want it to be sparkly, so we're going to add some red glitter. My friend wants to know what that little red glitter is. I am going to add a little bit of gold sparkle to the presents, because presents just need some sparkle. And then that finishes my first card. We're going to move along to our second card. But isn't he cute? I think they have those pins that you can glue behind something and create a pin for like a sweater. I think that'd be so cute with that Santa. Okay, card number 2, we're gonna create lots of snowbanks for these 10 cards. So I'm just kind of rounding off some white cardstock, and then we're going to adhere it to our snowflake piece of pattern paper. That measures 2 3/4 inches by 4 1/2 inches. After we cut it here. Those are the measurements after I cut it. Don't ask me how I got perfect measurements because I just eyeballed it, but I think that's a good measurement. Okay, next I have the snowflake border and then some gold cardstock. We're going to go ahead and adhere our snowbank and trim off the sides. It was a little bit bigger than my panel here. But we're going to go ahead and adhere our gold to the top of our snowflake border, just for a little gold accent. And then this is going to be glued down to just below our snowbank here. I'm going to add adhesive and stick this down so we have a little scalloped edge. Lovely. And then I did pop up this panel with foam, fun foam because the pattern paper is a little bit on the thinner side. I decided to add fun foam for stability. Okay, since we have a snowy background, we're gonna place one of the die cut snowman and put him in the corner. One thing I did forget to do is stamp a sentiment. So we're gonna bring in the stamp set that says, and stamp the sentiment that says Merry Christmas. We're gonna stamp it in the white area of the snow hill that we created. we'll stamp this. Lovely. And that's the best thing about fun foam too, is when you stamp on top, it's okay. It actually creates a pretty good impression when you stamp on fun foam. I'm going to lower this guy just a little bit, and then I decided to add the chipboard letter to Santa, and then the little naughty nice list would make a great letter for Santa, so I added that. I created that during my unboxing. Okay, I did add the snowflake with a puffy sticker candy cane up in the center of that. We're already on to card number 3. I have a panel that measures 2 inches by 3 quarters, 2 3/4 inches. We're going to adhere this all the way to the left of our card. It's the length of our card base, so it's 5.5 inches. Now for the seam between the pattern paper and the card base, we're going to adhere the strip of Christmas lights. We have 2 die cuts this month that are the same throughout the die cut pack, so we're going to use both of these. There is a white end on this, so I'm going to use my scissors and trim that off so it looks like a continuous line, even though we end up covering that with our presents. You could probably skip that step. Okay, we're going to trim off the excess, and then I have 2 of the presents in the die cut pack, and then the sentiment that says Merry Christmas. We are going to tape our blue present on top of the bottom corner of our green present, and then I'm going to flip these over and add foam squares behind it, and then we'll adhere those just over the Christmas lights, and then we'll add the sentiment that says Merry Christmas, kind of tucking it underneath that blue present. For bells and whistles, we're going to add red stickles to the berries of our holly. And then I want to add a little bit of sparkle to those Christmas lights. So just going over the darkest pink lights in my background pattern paper, we're going to add some iridescent glitter, glitter drops, just so that it sparkles and shines. And that finishes off card number 3. Okay, card number 4, we're going to create a little scene, but we're going to use some die cut circles here. I die cut out a large circle with a gold cardstock, and then a smaller, slightly smaller circle with the pink present pattern paper. We just adhered both of those together. And she's just very curious today. She wants to be on camera today. I die cut out the same size circle as my pattern paper with white cardstock, and then I'm going to use my scissors and again create a snowbank. This is going to just kind of cutting out a sideways S is the best way to create a snowbank. But I'm going to use my tape runner and adhere this to the bottom of my circle. And I'm going to, before I adhere this down, I'm going to go ahead and trim off about 1/2 inch off of the circle, maybe a little less than 1/2 inch. Once that's trimmed off, I'm going to go ahead and add some foam tape behind my circle for a little dimension. If you guys don't like dimension, I happen to like a lot of dimension on my cards. You could just adhere it with your tape runner. I think it would look just as cute. I have some extra die cut pieces. There's a little owl that is on a sled. So cute. I grabbed him, and then both of the holly berries here. We're going to use those for our card today. And then for our sentiment, I'm going to use the sentiment says Merry in the green and then Noel in the red. I did go ahead and pop up my circle and added that to the left of my card base along with all of my die cut pieces. We're going to add our sentiment. First we'll add the Noel, and then we'll add the Merry right above it. I like them overhanging on that circle. For finishing touches, we're going to add some Journey Glaze over the berries for a little shine. And then that finishes off card number 4. Oh, I did do the scarf of my owl, but that finishes off card number 4. Okay, card number 5 is a pretty simple card. I have 3 different pieces of pattern paper here. The green one measures 3 inches wide by 4 inches tall. And then I'm basically kind of creating a a gradient with those pattern papers. So the green will be the smallest, and then I add the pink and then the red on the bottom, and it's a wider strip. I did use my paper trimmer after I adhered them and straightened the edges out. I'm going to go ahead and grab my chipboard stickers. We're going to take this cute little reindeer, and he's going to go off to the side, but I think my panel is just a little bit too wide. So I'm going to trim off about 1/8 of an inch, and then I added fun foam behind my panel. We're going to offset it to the right just so we have a little bit of room. I wanted my reindeer to hang off of that pattern paper just a little bit, and I think that looks great. There's 3 little circles in the die cut pack, and that's why I chose the colors that I used. I'm going to add the red Mary just over the line where that white portion is. I'm going to do the same with the Joy, and then with the Jolly I'm going to have it overhanging off of the green, kind of making that line on each one of those on the seam. I need to add a piece of fun foam behind my Jolly here. Okay, and last but not least for this card, we are going to add a shiny nose for Rudolph, just using some red stickles, and that finishes off card number 5. Okay, card number 6, we are going to create a little scene. I'm using a piece of pattern paper that measures 3 by 4. Then I'm going to use this leftover piece. Well, I thought I was. We're going to use black, and I just created a black kind of like a hillside. You could just cut a straight strip of black cardstock, guys, because by the time I finished I covered the hill part. I adhered that with foam adhesive on the very bottom of my panel. Next I'm going to add a piece of foam tape to the left here, and then I'm going to add the polka dotted scalloped piece that was in the die cut pack. We'll just add glue to that black portion of the cardstock, and then this way our scalloped has a little dimension to it, but it's the same height as my little black hillside there. We'll trim off the excess. Next we're going to go ahead and flip over this panel. Actually we're not going to add foam tape, we're going to directly adhere this to our card base right in the center. I think we have enough dimension with that black hill and the scalloped. I'm going to add my little car just so it's overhanging the scalloped area a little bit. And then I have the sentiment that says holiday cheer. I added those, adding foam adhesive behind there. And then there's a 25 die cut circle. We're going to add that just below the sentiment here. So cute. Okay, bells and whistles. I'm going to here's where I trim off my little hill. I decided it just didn't look right, so I just kind of curved it like it was actually a road instead of a hill. So why not grab the white gel pen and add some dashed lines and make it a real road that this car's on. I'm going to add some journey glaze to the windows of my car, and then we're going to bring in a little bit of sparkle using the sequins that came with this month's kit. I just added a few here and there with my glue, and that finishes card number 6. I think it turned out super cute. Okay, let that journey glaze dry. Next we're going to make a window card. So I have a panel that measures 3 1/4 inches by 4.5 inches. I'm going to go in and create my own window frame using a rectangle die. It's a pretty small one. I'm going to cut out 4 panes for my window, and it's going to leave me a little window sill on the very bottom. If you have a window die, you could very well use it for this card. Next, I'm going to flip over my window. If you want to make a shaker card with this, you could, but I didn't want to make a shaker. I wanted that snowflake to be in the background. But I added foam adhesive behind my window frame, and then I'm going to attach my frame to my window to a panel the same size. So it's 3 1/4 inches by 4.5 inches. So that's ready to go. I wanted to bring in a little bit of pink. There's some pink polka dots in that wreath, and so I wanted to create a pink background. So I trimmed a panel with the pink pattern paper that measures 4 inches by 5 1/4. And then we're going to go ahead and add our window right in the middle, making sure it's centered. Next, we're going to take our wreath. This is a wreath from the die cut pack. There is one that's chipboard, but it was a little bit smaller. This is from the die cut pack. I'm going to add 4 pieces of foam adhesive and then pop that up right in the center of our window. And then I'm going to add the sentiment on the very bottom that says Season's Greetings. That came from the die cut pack too. Now we're going to add some bells and whistles. I'm just adding dots of glue to the red circles on the wreath, and then I'm going to use the smallest sequins that we had in our kit and fill those red circles in that are on the wreath. It really does add lots of sparkle, and I love the way this turned out. It actually adds dimension too, which is really nice. You can see it there. Okay, I thought, you know what, let's bring in a little bit of gold. After we add red stickles to our bow, I wanted to sparkle up our bow too. So I'm just adding some red stickles. And then I'm going to bring in some gold stickles. There is some gold circles on that wreath, and so I thought we would fill those in. It's going to give it a little added sparkle, but it's also going to give it dimension too. Now I left the pink dots on that wreath alone because I wanted it to kind of stand out against that pink background, and I love the way it's kind of a simple card, but I like the way it turned out. And again, if you wanted to make a shaker with it, I think that'd be fun too. Okay, we're moving along to card number 8. It's a pretty simple card, this one, but I love doing kind of like Santa background. So I have the black and white striped piece. I adhered it to my my two-tone red piece, and then we added fun foam behind it. Go ahead and remove the adhesive backing and place that directly on our card base. The full panel size measures 3.5 inches by 4 3/4. The black and white stripe measures 3.5 inches by 2 inches. I'm going to cover the seam with a thin strip of gold cardstock, and then off to the left I'm going to add the die cut piece that says Joy. It's a circle with black and then the gold letters that say Joy. We'll add that. It's pretty clean and simple, and I thought we would go one step further and bring in some of the puffy sentiments. There is a sentiment in here that says December 25, and I thought we would kind of keep it clean by going tone on tone. So I'm going to add the December and then the 25 just above that gold piece, kind of lining it up, and then I love the way that turned out. That finishes off that card. Pretty clean and simple. And then while I had my puffy stickers out, I kept looking at that Dear Santa. So, you know, I'm bringing back in my little snowman card, and I think we needed a little more red up here. So I removed the snowflake. Good thing I didn't glue it down. I used my tape runner. But I'm going to go ahead and add Dear Santa in that open area. And I did go ahead and replace that snowflake. I just removed the candy that I centered it with. But I love the way this turned out. I think it goes perfect with those letters to Santa too. So I just stuck that little candy underneath the snowman, and I think that finishes off that card a little bit better. So we kind of did a redo with that one card. Now we're going to move on to card number 9. We're going to create a little scene. I have this diagonal striped green border here. I added a thin strip of the gold. This is going to go on the bottom portion directly on my card base, kind of keeping it straight. Actually, I had my scalloped edge straight. I just didn't have my gold straight, so I have to adjust the gold there. We'll trim off what's overhanging, and then you can see I have lots of die cut pieces. I have both Christmas trees, and I have the cute little elf. It's a little girl elf. We're going to start off by adding the green Christmas tree, adding it directly to our card front. And then we're going to create one more snowbank. Add a little glue. My tape runner actually ran out of tape. I could have used the tape that was in the kit, but it takes a little bit longer to add the tape. So glue and tape runners work better for the 10 card one kit video. Okay, I'm just using some of the white cardstock that came in the kit. This is left over from the circle card that we made. I'm going to create another snowbank. Add that just above that gold border there. It's going to hide the very bottom edge of my tree, kind of like it's tucked behind that snowbank. Okay, once that's adhered, I'm going to pop up my elf, and then the other tree, and then also the sentiment that says jingle, jingle bells. We'll add that so our elf has something to stand on. Next, we'll add our little candy cane, and I wasn't sure. I wanted to use these candies, but I just couldn't find a home for them. I love the color combination. So I was going to have her holding the candy cane, but ended up tucking it under the jingle bells. And then we're just going to have to save the striped candy for another day. Next, we're going to add some gold stickles to the lighter green Christmas tree. And then we're going to add 2 stars on top of each one. And I did add foam adhesive behind both of them. And then I did dot the little elf's buttons. And then that finishes off card number 9. Now for my final card today, there were lots of tags. Lots of tags in the chipboard pack. And then there was one of the pink tags that was in the die cut pack. We're going to use all of them for this card. I did create a panel and then embossed it with a polka dot embossing folder from Fun Stamper's Journey. I thought since it's going to be on white, we need a little texture. Now for this tag, it was from the die cut pack, I added 2 of the chipboard sentiments. One of them says so jolly, the other one says joyful. And then I used one of the puffy stickers with the Santa on it. This tag was the chipboard tag, and then I also took the chipboard candy cane. We added that to that tag. And all of these I'm threading some white twine through it. This little tag was the chipboard tag. I added the sentiment that says merry and bright from the chipboard pack. And then I did add a foam snowflake on that one. And then I did thread the small pink tag that says laughing all the way. I wanted to create a little cluster of tags in the center of this panel here. So I'm just kind of arranging them, and then I'm tucking the ends of the twine. I thought if we tied bows with all of these, it would be just too much bow going on. So I thought we'd just wrap them around the back. So we're just going to wrap all the ends of our tags behind the back like they're all hanging. And I love the way this turned out. We're going to flip over this panel. I'm going to just add some double-sided tape behind it. I think it's going to work really good because of those strings. Just remove the release paper and add that to the front of my card. And that is card number 10. Oh, I have my little candy cane. I loved the little puffy candy, so I thought we would add those too because I love the color combination of this kit, and the candies were like perfect. We're gonna add 2 next to this candy cane on the red tag, and then I have one of the red and white striped candies left, and that's gonna go next to the blue. Kind of pull down some of that red there. But that finishes off the card, guys. Card number 10. So fun. Okay, now here's a look at all 10 cards that I made today with the Spellbinders October 2020 card kit. Again, it is a little late. It's called Dancin Santa, and he's so cute. I think it is a fabulous value. If you're interested in knowing what's in the kit and haven't seen an unboxing, I'll link it at the end. It shows you, again, how I created that little Santa with the presents and also the sentiment too. But hope you enjoyed my projects today. I love creating Christmas cards. It just makes me happy. But if you're interested in the card kit, it is a fabulous value, guys. I'll list the Spellbinder shop and the card kit down below. But thank you so much for joining me. I wish you a fabulous day. And I hope this gives you some ideas and inspiration on what to do with the October card kit. We will see you real soon. Have a fabulous day. Bye-bye.